Good afternoon, beautiful people. Well, it's just afternoon. So I had been planning on trying to get a video out every week, and then some things have happened which have delayed me, unfortunately. But I had a lovely lady by the name of Sue Geese leave a comment on one of my videos asking about how I done the binding on the clam up. So there's a couple of, this is the small, and then you've got the medium, which has got a lot of stuff in it, and then you've got the large that I've done. I've done an extra large in vinyl, faux leather, custom printed, which I realised after I started sewing that I'd done it upside down. But that doesn't matter. I just made it, it was a quick whip up when I had to go into hospital for a toiletry bag, and I'd done it with waterproof lining. So a couple of different things you can do there. Now this, I thought I'd do the video that I promised to do on the binding. It's not my hack. I didn't make this hack up. A lady by the name of Sammy did, but I'm happy to put it into a video for you guys. Now, there's two different ways that it can be done, and this video is going to be a bit longer than what it would ordinarily have been because I'm going to do both ways. But I'll do one, and then I'll finish that entire bag, and then I'll do the second one. So then that way it's not confusing you guys jumping between the two. Alrighty, so as normal, you know, I could just start straight off at you know, where you start doing the binding, but I think people will want to see the whole thing, otherwise they may get confused. So I'll just move these little guys out of the way. So I got in and cut out my pieces. I'm just going to do the extra small just to try and make it a bit quicker. So with your pattern you need to go in, you know, obviously cut out, figure out what pattern, what material you want, quilt it or don't to your soft and sable, or I use double-sided foam. And it just has a glue, and when you iron the material down it sticks down. I then quilt it to keep it there, just to give it a different look too. So I've got both my pieces there, and I also use the paper pattern for the sizes, and I just got some template plastic from Spotlight and just made up a template of every single one. Here are the others here. So then I have the small, medium, large and extra large. So you want to go through your pattern and cut out your pieces. So what you're going to need is some zipper tape or a pre-made zipper, either way. You're going to need a pull or two depending on the size that you want to make. I'm going to use Cheshire Cat since I've got Grumpy Cat, not Grumpy Cat, the cat from Tula Pink on mine. So I thought I'd use my Cheshire Cat. This is one of my zip pulls and my zipper tape. Then you're also going to want to cut out your, this is your side panels. You're going to need 2 of those, but I have cut 4 because I'm doing the 2 bags. You're going to want to cut out 2 pieces for your binding. Now, also, you need to cut out some material for your grab tabs. Okay, and there's different things you can do here. because you can put 2 grab tabs like here, okay, on each end, or you can have a grab tab and a swivel hook, or you could even have that as a wristlet strap if you wanted to, depending on what you have in mind for your bag. On the little one, the small and the extra small, I think a little swivel hook is great. So I put that on, and I just put the one grab tab. So I have here so that's my piece for my other swivel hook, and these are, because I'm doing a swivel hook on each end, I only then need one grab tab. So I'll put them aside, and I'll show you how I make my grab tab in a second, and the swivel hook also. And then you're also going to need some binding. Okay, now depends, you just got to measure. All I did is I just measured the top there with my material. I just went around like that, yeah, and sort of cut it. If it's a bit big, it doesn't matter, you just snip it off. But you know, if it's too short, then it becomes an issue. So you're going to want to cut a couple of pieces of binding for your bag, and cut out your piece as well. Now what I do is I put this on top of my template, and then I go around it with a marker and I draw it, and then I just use scissors. Some people use a rotary cutter, you know, on it to cut it all out. I find I make it a hack job when I do that, so I don't. So I just trace around my template with a marker, and then I just cut it out with a pair of scissors. Quick and easy. Alrighty, so once you've got all those together, and of course a swivel hook if you choose to put one on, you're going to need to do, and I keep all my patterns in these clear binders. I just get them from a Officeworks place, and you know, it's really good for, like, I also photocopy the piece of Biennies in the back that has all these, just cover that has what they are and the measurements on them. So I photocopy an extra one of that, and then I just use a zigzag rotary cutter, not zigzag, a perforated rotary cutter, and I just draw up lines, and then I tear the pieces off as I need them so I can label my pieces. And then when I'm finished with my pieces and finished with my pattern, it just goes straight back in to the sleeve of the folder. Like so. And if I've cut extra pieces that I haven't needed, you know, because I cut the 2 grab tabs and then I'm like, oh well, no, I want to put on a swivel hook, so I have spares, so I just slot them in the sleeve as well, and then that way when I go to make another one, if the material suits, you can use it and you're not wasting the material. Okay, so back to the pattern. I want to try and whiz through it pretty quick, so these aren't very long for you guys. So once you have quilted your soft and sable and that, and cut it out, that's pretty well done. It then wants you to go on and make your components. So that is your grab tabs and or swivel hook. Alrighty, so there's a couple of ways you can do your grab tabs. Okay, now there's a rectangle one where you have your piece, you just give it a crease in the middle, so you know your center line, and you fold your pieces in like so and like so, and then you fold it in half. That way your raw edges are contained inside. This is the only raw edge left, and that will get sewn down to your bag and bound. So there's your rectangle grab tab. Then for the triangle one, Annie suggests you just fold it and fold it like so. Yep, pretty sure it is like that. And then you cut off your excess, and then that there gets sewn down to your bag. I don't like that. Like, that would obviously be underneath, but I don't particularly care for that. So what I do is I fold mine in half like so. Now let me just see if I can't zoom this in a bit so you guys get a better picture of what I'm doing. And then I get my stiletto, and I get this corner and I bring it down so it's level, you see? Because what I'm doing effectively is like that. So I'm bringing this piece here to here. So I'm just pulling it in like that. You want it level, and then that piece will go level. You see? And then this one comes in. I usually don't have to fiddle with it this much. It's because I'm trying to show you guys it doesn't want to work. And so then it's like that. But when I've done it not on camera, it goes more to a point. But you see, it's still the same. So all you're doing is just bringing the top into the center and lining up the edges with this bottom edge until they're nice and neat, and then it is just the same. So this top piece here comes in to the center to line up that raw edge with that raw edge. I use my stiletto to make a nice point, and then I bring the other edges down and it gives me a nice triangle like so. And then this raw edge here is sewn to your bag, so you have absolutely no raw edges, unlike the other triangle. So I'll show you a quick, just use a wonder clip to hold that for me now. Grab a quick pen, and I dropped it to find that before my poppies come in. So this is what it looks like completed. Nice and neat. Alright, so that's your grab tabs done. So I like the triangles. And then for your swivel hook, I prepared this one already just to show you. Okay, so it's very, very easy. You just fold it in half and just finger press it. We'll use your stiletto just to give you a guideline there to the center. You bring this edge in to the center. And then you bring this edge into the center. Essentially the same as what we did for the rectangle grab tab. And then you fold it once more, like so. Stick your hook on, clip. This one has a bit of a small end on it. And there you have it. Then you just give it a stitch across there and it's ready for when you need to put it onto your bag. Let's grab a quick one to clip here. Oh. And that's your swivel hook done. Alright. Now it's time to assemble it. And what we need to do is turn it wrong side out. And we need to get our grab tab. Now, you know, whichever one you want to use. And it gets sewn down here. So if you've got two grab tabs, one to each side, or if you've got the swivel hook and a grab tab, you put that one down, you find the center, and you put the swivel hook there, and you just quickly stitch those down. So I will quickly do that and come back. Alrighty guys, so that's done. Now I made a mistake. I said to put it on the lining. You don't. You put it on your main fabric side. You sew it down. Okay? They're both sewn down. And you just want to put a pin in this little clip strap if you decide to put it on, just to keep it out of the way for when you make the rest of the bag. Okay? And I also, in the pattern, I just wanted to check that. In the pattern, I was pretty sure it was correct what I was saying. The grab tabs for all the different sizes are the same measurement. Now, when I had my little rectangle grab tab on here, I don't know if you noticed. Let me just grab my stiletto. At the size that the pattern calls to cut it, the triangles hung over to about here, the points on both sides. It was too far. So then when you make the bag and it goes like that, those triangles probably would have still been, you know, sticking out a long way on your bag. So what I done is I unfolded them and I took off 1/2 inch on each side. Okay, so I cut them down 1/2 inch on each side, then I refolded them and they fit beautifully. So I recommend, if you do the extra small on your measurements for your grab tabs, to cut it 1/2 inch shorter on each side, and it will just make it sit better on there for you. Alrighty, so that is done. Next, in the pattern, it calls for your zipper. Okay, now because we're doing the binding, we're going to do it a bit differently. Now this is the first way to apply the binding. Okay, so what you do is with your binding, actually iron it. Now, this is probably the one and only time I will tell you to actually iron your 2 pieces of binding. So you want them ironed, and then you want to get your zipper tape and lay it face down and sew it down to the very edge of the fold of your binding, okay? So you want to take it to your machine and just sew it down on the very edge as close as you can get it to the edge of your binding, and try and put it so it's like halfway with your zipper tape, because your zipper tape, I do recommend cutting it you know, more than what the pattern says, because you want that excess when you go to make the bag and you open it out. You need that excess zipper tape to be able to do the tape to the other side of the bag, okay? So I do recommend cutting them those sizes and not cutting them smaller. So I'm going to take this to the machine and I'm just going to sew down there, and then I'll come back. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you how I'm doing it, okay? Now, it's not about speed, right? It's just about accuracy. Because I'm holding the camera, it's going to be a bit harder, but okay. Now, I was going to wait until the end of the video to show you this surprise, but I thought I'd better do it now because I've got to go get my granddaughter soon. Look what I have. Can you see? Two babies. Come on, Mama. Come on, Mama. Come on. Come into your bobbies. There's proud Mama. She is doing an awesome job, aren't you, Yu-Yu? Hey? She's doing a wonderful job. They're getting very fat. Very big. I really don't want to disturb them too much. But this little one here, she's very protective. This little one here is a little boy. And the other one is a little girl. Move your face, Mummy. Move your face. Look at that gorgeous face. She is spoken for. Little girl is spoken for. You're sitting on her, darling. Here you go, baby. So little girl is already going to a friend of mine. That's the reason why I put Mama in pup, is because she wanted a puppy and another ex-friend wouldn't give her one, so I said I'd put my girl in pup. She growls at the other dogs. Oh, the towels come down. I had to put towels up around the pen because if she can see the others, she growls at them. She's very protective of her babies. Just hold yours like this. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to make a few minor adjustments. So there they are, proud little babies. I put one of the fluffy blankets in with them last night because we got down into the minuses. So I put this over the top just to keep a bit of the warmth in. I also wanted to show, this is the little machine that I do all my by any sewing on. So it's just a little old faff, and there's the industrial, but I don't use it on the by any bags. I tend to use that on the handbags that I make because it uses a thicker cotton. I can use ordinary cotton on it, but I use the thicker nylon cotton with the faux leather bags, and I just feel that this cotton is a bit too thick for the by any, and yeah, I just feel it's a bit too thick. I haven't actually sort of done one yet, but I'm sort of thinking about it, but I haven't, so please excuse my mess. It was clean and then my daughter had to move back in, so I have a lot of stuff back in here that I haven't been able to organise yet. Alright guys, so what is up next is we have the binding sewn down. Should look like that. And now what we want to do is get the two edges of your tape. Just wondering, no, I think I should put down the, hang on one second. Yes, what I'm going to do first is the side panels. So you get your side panel, fold it in half, and it needs to be sewn to the curve of your bag there, like so. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go do that with two of my panels, sew them down. Alright, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I put the side panels on, and I just put a pin to keep it in place, to keep it out of the way. And now I'm going to go and stitch this to the right side of our bag. Right side, like so. So I'm just going to take it to the machine, manipulate it around, okay, all the way around to the right side of the bag, and then I'll be back. Alrighty guys, so there it is sewn down. Alright, so the binding is sewn to the top side of the bag, and what we want to do is fold this over so our tape comes just below our 1/4 inch seam for sewing on the binding. Okay, now you can use pins or a bit of glue, bit of double-sided tape. I use that a lot in my vinyl bags to hold it there, but it should pretty well stay anyway. And what you want to do, I shouldn't have put that other binding on, it's just being a pain in the butt trying to show you guys. So it'll look like that. Okay, so you just fold it under. You shouldn't even really need anything to hold it, to be honest. So you just fold it under, like so, okay, and have the binding come just below the teeth. Alright, so this is, if I can grab it, on the inside of your bag, like so. Alright, you want to line it up on your machine that way. Okay, so lining side down on your machine, and have it so the binding comes just to the teeth here. So when that is pulled around properly, that's how it will look. Okay, and then you take it to your machine and you just stitch in your ditch here. Okay, you could even probably just take this part off, to be honest. Take the other half of the zip tape off and then just put it together once you've sewn it down. Actually, we'll do that. How about that? There we go. Makes it easier. Alright, so there we go. Folds under much nicer now. You could probably even use just a few wonder clips. Let me see. Let me get my wonder clips. Sammy did not do this when she done hers, so this is different to hers. Okay, but she left her zip hole, but you could just do that There, right? That alleviates any worry that you're not going to catch it. So you just go around, make sure it is over that line of stitching. Put a wonder clip on it. Actually, I'm doing them upside down. The flat part's got to be there because that's the way it's going to be on the machine. And if we look at that, the binding is up to the teeth. So we just look at the front of the bag. The binding is up to the teeth. And we just stitch in the ditch. Okay? And I guarantee you, when you stitch in the ditch, you will be catching your zipper tape on the underside, and it will be getting sewn down. Okay, so you just take that. We'll just go now to the machine. See if I can hold you there for a second. Take that off. Might get a bit bobbly. Alright, you see what I'm doing? So I'm just stitching in the ditch there, right along this very bottom edge of our binding. Alright, I shall do that, and then I'll be... Alright, lovelies, it's been a little bit because I got held up with my granddaughter and everything, so... But anyway, so that's all done. Okay, sewn down. The other side is sewn down once. Alright, now I haven't sewn this part down, and the reason being, hang on, let me zip this up. If I can get it past that pin. Yes, okay. And I pulled it off, but it doesn't matter. So when you go to put on the other side, you want to measure it and mark it. Mark where they are. Okay, that's so you can, when you go to do all the rest of it here, they're lined up, and then you can cut it off. I'll show you how I put this on. There's some scissors. Separate your zipper teeth. Take a pair of scissors, preferably not your good ones. Get an old pair. Just snip out 2 teeth. Okay, you see? And then take your zipper pull, insert here. Insert it in a little bit here. Okay. Hold it with your fingers. Bring this one around. Insert it in. Support it. Put it on something flat. Oh, put it on something flat. And then you should just be able to push it from the bottom and it will pop on straight like that, you see? So you just make sure you have, make sure you have pressure either side on your tape, and then you just pop it with that finger, boom, and you'll hear it click, and then it's on. Okay, so I'll take it around. I actually want to undo it. My pin's marking it and making it a bit hard. Put a pin there so I don't take my zipper pull right off the end. Okay, I'll zoom back out. Oh, not in, out. Alright. So what we've got to do is, the reason why I didn't sew this part down, okay, like we did on that side there, is because you need to sew down your side panel. Alright. This is why I recommend the long zipper tape, because you want to be able to open your piece out good and not have it, you know, if you had shorter zipper tape you wouldn't be able to open it out flatter like that. So you're just going to take your side panel, sew it down like you did on the first one, alright, on both sides, 1/4 inch. As soon as you do that, then you can bring your zipper tape over and sew it to the inside, but do it like you did before, okay, with your teeth, and stitch in your ditch. Alrighty, so you're just bringing your side panel up and sewing it down on both sides, and then bring that over, turn it to the right side and stitch in your ditch. Alrighty, lovelies, all done. So both sides are sewn down. Looks lovely. Lovely. What we need to do now is turn it inside out. Might as well pull that off. Do the zipper up. Just to get it out of the way, okay? Then we want to align the raw edges of the bag with the raw edges of the bottom. Okay. Fold that so it is nicely pleated. I would put some wonder clips. To hold it. Do the same on the other end. Make sure there is a pleat on each side. This is the fiddly bit. Might just stick a quick pin in that to hold it for me. and concentrate on this side too, because you've got to account for the zipper being done up. So you need not, you know, push it over like that, because then it won't do up properly. So, there we go. Beautiful. Turn it over. Fix the side panel. So it has a beautiful pleat and wonder clip. Now I can undo this one so I can fiddle with it a bit more. So it is nicely done too. And you take it to your machine, 1/4 inch cross on each end, 1/4 inch, snip off your zipper tape. Then you need your binding. You just fold it in half. Wrong one. These ones. So you fold it in half. Put it on the edge and make sure you have equal amounts here. Okay, if that's pointed out very well with the, there we go, that will do it better. Right, where's my, I'll put it over at the machine. Stiletto. You see here how it overhangs the actual edge of the bag? Make sure that's equal, okay? Because when you sew this and then you cut it, the zipper tape off, you're then going to sew your binding down 1/4 inch. Then you're going to fold it. I'll come back and do it anyway. So we'll just go and sew that and then we'll do the binding. Okay guys, so I sewed the ends down. Okay. And then I took my piece of binding and I sewed it to the top. And I made it level. And the reason being is when you fold it over, you want to fold them in. So you can enclose that edge. Sorry, I find I need more than 2 fingers. 1 second. There we go. Now it's just like when you wrap a parcel. So you have a nice neat edge. Nice neat edge. And then if you flip it and look, yep, you will be able to stitch in the ditch nicely and catch that. It should run, if I'm correct. Let me just put a wonder clip on that. The edges come out since I let it go. Now if I'm correct, the line of stitching will run probably about along there. But you just want to tuck up those ends so it's nice and neat and you have absolutely no raw edges. Okay. and then do the same to the other edge and turn it right side out, and your bag is done. And that is the first way to bind. Okay, lovely, it's all done. Binding's on. And if I there we go, so it sort of fell to where I thought it would fall, caught the edge of that beautifully. So now all that's left to do, the other end's done. Just turn it in the right way. Poke out your corner. Poke out your other corner. There's your sides that sit up beautifully. Do up the zipper. Yeah, I squeezed it. And there's your binding. Sorry for the lighting, guys, it's now night time here. So that is the binding all done. Little swivel. Alrighty. Now I'll do the next one. Okay guys, so on the second one, now I already put the grab tab and the little clip on. So we turn it over and we need to put on the side panels like we did on the last one. So I will go ahead and do that quickly, and then we are up to the next bit. So we just fold our side panels in half. They're the same measurement all the way around, so it doesn't matter. Like so. Make sure your folded part is to the top. And I will quickly take them to the machine and just tack them down there. Alrighty, so that's all done. Just quickly sewn down. Now, one thing I thought of last night that I want to just make clear that I said earlier in this video is on your side panels, guys. Now, when I said I took off a ½ inch each side, I should have been more clear. Now, it is the same measurement for width and height, okay, or length and height. What I meant when I said I took off ½ inch on each side is I took off a ½ inch here and I took off a ½ inch here. Don't get confused with thinking I took it off all 4 sides. I took the ½ inch off 2 sides, and that was all, and that made it then small enough for the extra small. Okay, so then that way it's not like this big thing that juts out. So that brought it down to a size I was happy with. And at first I tried a ½ inch, and then I had to take another quarter off. So yeah, ½ inch and just off 2 sides, not all 4 sides. Okay, cool. That's clear. Alrighty, so side panels are on. I put a pin in it just to hold them out of the way. Now, the next way we do our binding is this is the second version, okay? So you just put the binding straight on your clam up and bind it like you would ordinarily. You just bind the top. All right. Now, what you can do is, we'll sew down the top bit first, and then I'll go into it a bit more. So I'm just going to go and sew this down, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so the binding's all down, and then I'm just going to snip off the excess here. So this is how I did the others that I showed at the start of the video. The first method that I done at the start of this video, that's the first time I've done it. All the others that I showed you that I had bound, this is how I personally bound them, was this way. So yeah, you just put your binding on. I always do it to the front, so to the main side, not the inside of the bag. I do it to the outside, and then you just flip it, and then I just either use a little bit of double-sided tape. You can use Wonder Clips, whatever your preference is. When you straighten the bag out, because when you bend the binding in, right, this part here on your clam up, where's my stiletto? It's at my machine. It curves in because of this line of stitching here. Sorry, while we're on stitching, that is another thing I forgot to mention. On the clam up, when you cut it out, I know I'm jumping around a bit, I'm sorry. When you cut it out, you've also got to do a line of stitching from this point across to this point, top and bottom of your bag, and that then makes the bottom of your little bag. Okay, right, so back to the binding. When you sew down your 1/4 inch seam, it wants to curve up, as you can see here. So the easiest way I've found is I let it do that, but I also do that and straighten it. Okay, so you bring your binding around, and when you straighten it, you'll find that I have anyway, on the binding size that Bianni has for this pattern, it is the normal binding size that we cut, 2 1/4, I think. Let me just see. Yep, 2 1/4. I find on the clam up is too big, but I do it anyway because it's irrelevant. But that's why I sew it to the front of my bag, because when you fold it over, you will see. Okay, so here's the edge of my binding. Here is my 1/4 inch. So there is a bit of size difference there. All right, 1/4 inches there. There's the edge of the binding. All right, so here's the edge of the binding that you want to catch. There's your 1/4 inch. So I always sew it to the front of my bag, fold it to the inside of my bag. Then I take it to the machine and I just stitch in the ditch. Because the binding is folded under, you're guaranteed to catch it. But, you know, if you need peace of mind or whatever, you could use a little piece of, a bit of double-sided tape. I do have some other videos I'm trying to get out that I made many months ago at the old house, but I remembered a lot of tidbits, so I've done a lot of sort of recordings of the same section and trying to sort of put them in, and I just feel it might be a bit confusing for some people, so I'm trying to redo them anew. But I use double-sided tape a lot, especially on the handbags. It is an invaluable tool. So you can use a little bit of double-sided tape under there if you want to hold that down. You could use some wonder clips, would work too, or just a couple of little pins. I have ordinary pins, and then I have these really fine ones that are great, especially like when you've folded your binding and you just, want to roll it up. They're awesome for that. Instead of the thicker ones, these are like really fine. So yeah, you just clip it down, take it to the machine, stitch in the ditch, then your binding's done. Your little clam up is then bound. Then all it is just attaching our zipper. So what I do, and you can do this at once if you feel comfortable enough. I do this. So I just make sure I leave enough at each end, right? That's going to be sort of equal. And you can do this when you actually stitch in the ditch here. So you just put your zipper that way on your machine, okay? So you don't attach it in the normal way. You put it on the underside of your bag, put it so the binding comes to the teeth, and then you just sew your zipper on, all right? And you just take it around and you sew it down like that, and then you take it and do the other side the same. You will need to open your zipper to do that, so then you sew the other side down the same. So when you're stitching this binding down and you're stitching in the ditch, you can do your zipper at the same time if you just want one line of stitching there instead of two. And prior to doing this binding here, make sure you unpin your side panel and sew your side panel down first. Now on some of the clam ups, when you sew your side panel down here, it does hang over here, okay? So once you've sewn it down, you can just get it and nip off that material, because it's a curved bag. This is a straight piece of material, so it will hang over, so you just nip it off, all right? But yeah, make sure you do that before you do the other side with the binding. So then you just bring your binding down, you'll have your zipper open, and then just sew your zipper on. Then we're nearly finished. It's just a matter of turning it out, sewing our bottom seam again, putting the binding on that, and it's done. Alrighty, let me go do this quickly. Okay guys, so I just wanted to quickly show you, I just used a bit of double-sided tape. Okay, it's down. Now I can just take it to my machine this way down. Make sure, like I said, you've got a bit of excess zipper tape on both sides, and then I just put it on my machine and I just manipulate the zipper tape around like that and just sew in the ditch. And your zipper tape is long enough so you get them both. This also covers this on the inside, so all you see is your zipper tape. It looks brilliant, guys, it really does. Alright, I'll quickly do it. There you go, guys, all done. Now, as I promised, you see, and I done it in one pass, meaning I stitched my binding and my zipper tape at the same time. Beautiful. Now it's just a matter of unpin my side panel. I'll go to the machine now and I will sew my side panels on, and then I'll be back. I just wanted to say, guys, that I've done this side, alright, And you might find it helpful when doing the other side if you just fold it a bit and stick a pen in it. So I line my piece up, the bottom edge with this bottom edge here. So the bottom edge of my material with this bottom edge here. If it hangs over there, does not matter. Okay, and then just fold, push it down, push your clam up down and just stick a pin in it. That way it's easier for you to just go and tack this down. This is not, you know, up in the air getting in your way. So I just thought I'd point that out. Both sides are on now. So now I will fold over my binding. Okay. And once again, possibly, I'll more than likely just bend up this clam up a bit and pin it to keep it out of the way. Actually, no, sorry. What I will do is put my zipper pull on. And I'll show you again. I'll just grab my old scissors. Okay. I just separate my zipper tape. I cut out 2 of the teeth. So 1, 2. Just snip them off. On an angle, not straight across. Don't cut it straight across, cut it on the angle. Okay, see how it's on the angle? Then grab your zipper pull. And this zipper tape is, yep, a little bit. I need to seal that with my lighter. It's a bit frayed there for some reason. Okay, now just a little bit in, all right? Not a lot. Support that now with your 2 fingers. These fingers here. Bring it around. Slot that in a little way. A little way meaning here, where this part here is of your zipper. Okay? You only want a teeth or 2 in that, not a lot. Okay? Stabilize that onto a flat surface. Put pressure either side of your zipper tape near the zipper pull at the end. Let me see if I can't zoom that in a bit for you guys. Oh. Okay. Get your pulley out of the way. I use this finger and I just pop it. There, you've seen how easy that was. Now I'll pick it up and my zipper pull is on. Okay. I'll need to put a pin in this to keep it together. A safety pin would be better, but I haven't taken the time to find them. Put a pin in this side. I will find a safety pin in a minute when I pause this video though for this end. Alright, now I'm going to undo it. Okay, pin is, oh sorry, I should have zoomed you out again. Sorry about that, guys. If it wasn't in frame, I do apologise. I didn't look at that first. Sorry about that. So now I will just go to the machine. I will use a little bit of double-sided tape again, just to hold. I will pin that down with a pin to keep it out of my way. That way I can keep my bag flat and not all curved up. Alright, I'll use a little bit of double-sided tape just in a couple of sections as I go around. I won't use a full piece because it is a curved piece, but I'll just put little dobs here and there. I will push that down with the double-sided tape. Then, now, sorry, I should have mentioned, before you unzipper, okay, you bring it over, you need to mark on here with a pin. Safety pin would be preferable so it won't come out. So that way you know where, like, because when you unzip it, right, you then don't know where to line this up on your bag so it is going to be level for here for your seam. Okay, so I could have started sewing my zipper on down here. Alright, then it's going to be all skew if. Get me? So you want to mark it on here, even with a pen. Okay, on your tape so you can see where you need to start sewing. So I will do that, but for demonstration purposes, once I have that pushed down, I will do exactly the same. I will line it up exactly the same at my machine, and I will just sew it down the same as I did on this side here. Alright, so I'll go and do that and I'll come back. Alright guys, so there we go. It is sewn down. Along with the binding, and that is both sides. Our sides are in, so now it's just a matter of, and if I zip it up, you will see where I marked it with some green pen. Okay, you see it there? And that, I did that when I done that. Alright, so I marked it so I knew where to start, where to line up on my zipper tape to start. And as you can see, it lined up beautifully. So now I will zip it up. And it is even, both sides. So now I just unzip it. And this is why you need that extra tape here when you're doing this bag, to give you the leeway to have it open, to keep your project as flat as possible, to make it easier to work. So make sure you pull your zipper tape through, turn your bag right side out, wrong side out, sorry. Pull your zipper tape through. And then it is just a matter of doing that. So you can, if you're not 100% confident that, you know, when you put them together like this, okay, see how my zipper tape is overlapping there? Right, if you're not confident that you can sort of do it to where, like that, you can close your zipper, so that way you don't, it takes the guesswork out of making sure you have enough room for your teeth. You can close your zipper, and I know it's the wrong side out, okay, which means your zip pull's going to be on the inside when you do up your bottoms when you sew your bottoms up, okay? I'll pull it through. But you got to remember, you got to leave it up a bit at least on one end, because otherwise your zip pull's going to get in the way of your machine. But you can open your bag, all right? Even though it's inside out and the zipper's done up, you can open it. You should just use your finger. See? So don't worry about that, all right? If you need to do it up, do it up. So, like I was saying, line up your bottoms with your edges. Take it to your machine. Make sure this here is nice, like that. Okay, see how it's folded? Make sure it's even on both sides. And I personally would put a pin in it when you have everything all lined up to your satisfaction. I would stick a pin in it. Like that. That way it's not going to move on you. Then take it to your machine, sew it across. Then it is just a matter of... Sorry, I'm fiddling with this edge here to get it lined up, and I needed to use it against my body. And then it's just a matter of putting on the binding. Okay? So once you get them lined up, go and zip across 1/4 inch. Cut off your tape. And then we're down to doing our binding to finish off that end, and then your second bound clam up bag is finished. Alrighty, I'll go zip them across. So both my ends are sewn. And a little thing I wanted to point out, when I do my binding, so you fold it in half as usual. Make sure it's level. Okay, now I hold my bag, I always put it on the top, okay, because this is the part that sort of seen or whatever. You can do it any way you want, it's up to you entirely. I turn it over like that. So then that way I can gauge that I have equal amounts on each end. And I also leave it like that, and I put it on the bed of my machine, that way up. And then I just sew my 1/4 inch, following the 1/4 inch I did to sew my bottom shut. And I start it here, edge of the bag, and I back tack. And then I come along my 1/4 inch, and then I stop at the other edge of the bag, and I back tack, cut my thread, and then that way it's done like this. So then you go to turn it, you can bring your ends in like you need to, to then fold it over nicely so your ends are in. See? Now I will fiddle with that at the machine to make sure this here is tucked up, right? And this end here is under properly, and then I will just stitch it straight across the end there. Let me see. Yep, I think it's a bit lower, especially if I pulled it tighter because it's quite loose. It would be lower. It would be, sorry, probably higher in this case than if I was to sew it across here. So depending on how you wanted to do it, I'd probably sew it from this end. That way I can keep a nice neat straight line. So that way, no matter how you look at it, if you're looking at the side or the bottom, most people don't take much notice, but I'm very particular about that kind of thing. It will be nice and straight across there. Alrighty, I'll go do that, guys. Look at my babies. This is what they do when I do my sewing. He was asleep, sprawled out, snoring. They have a hard life here. So there we have it, guys. All nicely bound on both ends. And our little clam up is done. Again. Make sure you push your corners out. Turn it right side out. Beautifully bound little clam up. And that is how I did all the others as well, as I said. So yeah, that is the completion of this video for you guys. So that's 2 different ways in which to bind your clam ups. Full tutorial on both. And I also just wanted to say that in my last video I promised some surprises, and what it's going to be is, as you know, I was starting my own business. I did have it online. I wasn't getting enough sales through the online store to justify the cost it was costing me every month to keep it open, so I closed it down. I'm in the process of trying to put it onto my Facebook page. I do have a Facebook page for my business on there. So I'm trying to put all my products up there. But at the moment, I thought I would do a giveaway for you guys who watch my videos, which I greatly appreciate. And what it is I'm going to give away 5 meters of zipper tape. And to go in the draw for that, you just need to tag 2 friends in the comments of this video and share the video, please. Make it so it's public so I can see that it has been shared, and then I will pop your name into a thing to go in the draw, and I will also do that draw live in a video so everybody can see that it's been fair. Okay, now these are the colors that I have. I have a big variety, as you can see. I have a lot of different blues, greens. I have yellows, pinks, tans, browns, purple, black, greys, different shades. I also have fluoro. So you have a fluoro line, fluoro pink, green, yellow. There is a purple, which I would have to, I think it's that one. Or it could, possibly could be this one here. And then there is a blue too. And I'm not quite sure which of the blues it is because I've jumbled them all up. So there's your orange. So yeah, I will be putting up the individual photo of each colour. And I will contact the person to find out which one they would like. Now, it doesn't have to be in one colour, okay? You can choose a metre, half metre of whatever colour you would like. And these are all solids, as I said. Yeah. So, and I may throw in a few zip pulls to go with it. I will post anywhere. So even if it's America, I will post at my expense for this. So yeah, if you guys would mind, I would love it if you would subscribe. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, I would love that tremendously. And yeah, just tag 2 friends in the comments and share the video, and you will go in the draw for 5 meters of zip tape of your choice. Alrighty guys, thank you once again for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.